Let's talk about Nico Hülkenberg's mindset. Because recently, on 6th of July 2025, Nico Hülkenberg has his first ever Formula One podium. 15 years after his debut, 239 race starts, 5,593 days after he first graced the grid. So I want to talk about Nico Hülkenberg's mindset throughout the years because he has experienced so many highs and lows. One of the first lows in Hülkenberg's career happened in 2011 because he debuted in 2010 and the very next year he was out of a racing seat. In 2010 he had some good drives. So a lot of people remember 2010 as like the Williams pole position in Brazil, where Nico Hülkenberg in wet conditions put Williams Cosworth on pole position, which was the first pole position of Williams in 5 years at that time. Despite performing well in his debut season with Williams, he put that car on pole. He had a great finish in Hungary. He had a great finish in Italy. Nico Hülkenberg's contributions helped Williams beat Force India for P6 in the constructor standings. By 1 point, they couldn't have done it without Nico. Despite that performance, obviously Williams was struggling for money. That's why they took Pastor Maldonado. And the first wave of pain and suffering for Nico came on the very following year, right after his debut, disrupted his momentum. He was a reserve and test driver for Force India. And that just is the story of his entire career, basically. Like, if you look at the Silverstone 2025 drive from P19 to P3, he did it all by himself. The team, his race engineer was giving him stupid suggestions. He leaned on his experience. It was a race in which world champions, some of the best drivers of all time, I'm talking Lewis Hamilton, I'm talking Max Verstappen, Charles Leclerc as well, these guys were going off track. Hülkenberg kept it on the black stuff, made all of the calls by himself, outdrove that piece of shit tractor, and finished on the podium in dynamic and tricky conditions. A lot of people are, downplaying his achievement by saying that he didn't do a lot of overtakes on track. A lot of his overtakes happened when other people made strategy errors. I don't give a fuck about that. All of the credit goes to Nico Hülkenberg for persevering for 15 years. And he did it on the 75th anniversary of Formula One. Formula One literally started Silverstone 1950 on the dot 75th anniversary. You cannot write a script for this shit. The best moment, arguably, in modern Formula One, the most overdue podium as explained by Jonathan Whitley. And the mindset of Nico Hülkenberg, as I just mentioned, I was thinking about it. If you look at his entire career, it was disappointment after disappointment, grinding, stuck in the midfield with a shit car, and he was sidelined from Formula One once again from 2020 to 2022. He came tantalizingly close to the podium position in many occasions. In the 2012 Formula One season, he could have scored a podium on 2 different occasions, in Belgium and in Brazil. So in Spa, he finished P4 after starting P12, another amazing drive, and he was actually running P2 at one moment in that race, but Lotus did a good strategy with Kimi Raikkonen, and that allowed the Iceman to overtake the Hulk, in that shenanigans. So that was out of the window. Then, in Brazil 2012, something about Nico Hülkenberg in Brazil. So he started on P11, he moved through the field, and at one point he snatched the lead from Jenson Button on lap 19. After that, he was battling with Lewis Hamilton, and there he made a mistake, hits Lewis Hamilton, Lewis retires, Nico Hülkenberg gets a drive-through penalty, recovers from that penalty, and finishes a respectful P5. That's not nothing. Now, obviously, in the mind of Nico Hülkenberg, he doesn't know the future, so obviously he didn't know that the podium will elude him for the next 13 years. But at the time, he was actually okay with it because, again, this was only his second year as a racing driver in Formula One, even though he was in the sport for 3 years at this point. 1 year was kind of dropped. So in 2012, 2 amazing occasions in which he could have finished on the podium went away. With Force India, Also in 2016 Monaco Grand Prix, he could have finished on podium once again, but a wrong pit strategy put him out into the traffic. He was in the DRS train, and obviously in Monaco you cannot overtake, there's nothing you could do. This allowed actually Sergio Perez to stand in the Monaco podium in 2016. So again, another great opportunity went away, but I think the biggest one, a lot of people talk about 2019 German Grand Prix. I think that's the second most painful loss of potential podium for Nico. I think the most heartbreak, at least for me, was 2017 Singapore Grand Prix. Nico was comfortably running in P3, but the car gave up, mechanical failure, nothing he could do, just retired. So that was the one for me, at least, which was the most difficult thing. And obviously 2019 German Grand Prix, tricky conditions, lost it in turn 16, fucked it into the barriers. If you look at all of these lost opportunities, if you look at the entire career of the German driver, and you see that he has been in midfield teams at best, and the only chance of him scoring a podium was crazy races, and he came tantalizingly close multiple times and went home empty-handed, you gotta start giving him the respect of a strong mindset. And this is one of the key things we need to learn from Hülkenpodium. It's about never giving up. If you continue to grind, if you continue to believe in yourself and show up, inevitably you will win. Just like Nico Hülkenberg had a lot of run of bad luck, we too also get run of bad luck. We have dead-end jobs, we have, financial problems, we have loneliness, hopelessness, and the fucking economy. All of these issues are there. Rather than admitting defeat and chalking up to fate and, bending over, we just have to keep fighting. We just have to dig deep, find our inner Hülkenberg, and just keep fighting, and inevitably we're gonna win. That's the biggest lesson you can take from Hülkenpodium, aka 2025 British Grand Prix. Thank you for watching, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.